In this video I will show you how to prepare everything for knitting a pair of tights. Then I will give you some time to prepare the things, and exactly 5 hours later today I will upload the second video where I show actually knitting the tights. All the needed links are in the description below. First open the file and print the first page. Make sure Print Active Sheets is selected, then change the margins to narrow or click on Fit Sheet on one page. This is the information sheet. Now I will show you the measurements you need to take. I will make the tights for this doll. First I need to measure her waist circumference. I will write it down on the sheet. Then I need to measure the distance from the waistline to the floor. In the third cell I need to write the inseam length. Next I need to know her hip circumference. Now I'm measuring her thigh circumference. Then I need her knee circumference. Next I will measure the distance from the middle of her knee to the floor. Her calf circumference is next. Now I will measure the circumference of her ankle. I need also the circumference just behind her toes. The length of her foot from the heel to the toe, and the distance from her ankle joint to the floor. You can fill the measurements directly into the form, but I like to have everything on paper. Now I have to measure the elastic band that I am going to use. I will use tension suitable for my yarn, and let's make the test swatch. First make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. I need my square to be at least 10 by 10 centimeters or 4 by 4 inches, so I will raise 40 needles. Depending on your yarn and stitch size you may want to use more. Arrange them in 1-to-1 division and place the edge springs. Insert the black strippers, set the front loop to N and the stitch size to 1. Then knit one row with waste yarn. Raise the rest of the needles, move the right edge spring and tap on the needles to tighten the yarn. Increase the stitch size to 4 and knit one row. Clear the row counter and increase the stitch size to 5. For this demonstration, this will be the main stitch size for my doll tights. Now tap on the needles and knit 20 rows with the waste yarn. If you don't know the perfect stitch size for your yarn, make another test swatch with different stitch size settings until you find the right setting for you. Now clear the row counter and take the main yarn. You need to knit until the piece becomes at least 10 centimeters or 4 inches. I will knit 70 rows. At any point you can lower the front bed and check the length of the piece. When the piece becomes the desired length, take the waste yarn again and knit 20 rows. Move the lock to the color changer and take an empty eyelet or leave all eyelets there. Slide the lock to the left and remove the test swatch from the machine. This is my test swatch, it's the smallest possible swatch. I will lay it on my ironing pad and I will pin the edges to hold them in place. Don't stretch the test swatch, just pin it flat. use my sewing gauge to measure 10 centimeters. I will place the gauge in the middle of the swatch and I will use 2 pins to mark the distance of 10 centimeters. Now I will rotate the gauge and measure 10 centimeters. Now I will start counting the rows between the pins. Then count how many stitches there are in 10 centimeters. I will write the numbers on the paper and we can start filling out the form. Look at the first box. If your measurements are in inches, you must type the letter N. If you're using metric measurements, type Y. Now I'm filling up the measurements that we just took of the doll. There must be a value in all of the pink cells. The green cells are optional, you can fill them up to customize your instruction sheet. Also, if you want to make the same tights after some time, you will be able to see all settings that you have used. Now insert the number of rows and the stitches from the test swatch. The recommended percentage of stretch is 3, the lower the number the looser the tights will be. It is highly recommended that you don't use more than 7% in this box. Then you can write for who you make the tights, the machine that you will be using and the date when the measurements are taken. In the last cell you have to type the width of the elastic band. That's all, now we are ready to print the instruction sheet. Click on the second sheet. These are the instructions. Go to print and make sure print active sheets is selected. Then choose narrow margins. If you choose normal margins, the right column won't appear on the sheet. If you have chosen narrow margins and you still can't see the right column, go to the scaling options and choose the best one for you. Then print out the sheet. That is the printed sheet. I'm going to lubricate my machine and I will see you at the premiere in just a few hours. Don't forget to cancel all of your plans for today and put a reminder. All the links will be in the description. See you soon!